Sanarado na Jesus sanita. Nanay ko na hugara hiya kunara amen. Amen, amen, I say to you truly, I tell you, the ones of me and my fellow here. My spiritual, court is why I bore the wounds or scars of my Lord, my love, say. Because the name love is a sacred heart consecrations that you are Christ. Sacred heart, it's a sacred heart or anima Christi. Like the time of when we were spirits, I said this, we were cut in half, and that is why you were made from the image of a woman. Image of a woman as he and him. That's the symbol of Adam. Adam came first before me as the name Eva, because that was it was Eva. For me to become Ave Maria, for my mother to become Mary. That is how we bore things. Through anima Christi, sufferings. Sufferings. Like when I was, or let's say my Saint Gertrude. That is the stigmata that we bore, or we are trying to venerate from everyone. Why you go through all sufferings as along the way to the cross, the denial, mortality, to forgive your sins, to forgive your sins as mortal and venial sins, to lead you into heaven along the way of the cross. Which humans does not know this, that he has a shoulder wound which no one knows about and has never been cured or treated. Which only I knew, where is the another wound he had on his face. On his face, humans, he have a scratch on his face. It's like a 3-line. I saw it yesterday because for the first time, he showed me his, physically. It means that it's almost there. It's just like a tafita covering, like a tafita muslin covering, through rayon, like this, because there's a symbol of this too. Why he keep his, his face from any, And I said to him yesterday, when I saw that, why? Because that too I have on my face. I have that scars that on my face, but because I'm small, it is on the side of my jaw, whatever you call it. In heaven I call it jaw, because that's the only way how we see it, for us not to reflect the human's, the human's physical flesh, like how you follow flesh, how you follow grammar. In your worldly, how you say those things, No, I don't. I follow my kinds, So, he had a shoulder wound, which is, I told you this in my record before, which no one knows about and has never been cured or treated. Why? Why those wound are not treated? Basically, just the wound on his shoulders not treated, and the on his face, the scar, but it's still, when he's being hurt, he's really, really hurt. It's bleed, humans, it bleeds, Which I said, why he can heal, he can do that, but he does not want to do that, humans, because he want me to see how much you have ruined me. Because every time you blaspheme me, he's the one who gets hurt. Every time you name called me, he's the one who gets hurt. Every time you name call any of the Lords, I get hurt. And when I am the one blasphemed, he's the one who gets hurt. Do you understand that? The apostles, when they are being blasphemed, when they are being slandered, you know, I'm the one who get hurt for them. You know, because I am the spirits of the Lord's. You know, while I, the Spirit of God, get, you know, when I'm being slandered, He's the one who get sick, get all that. Why humans? Because He does not want me to get hurt. You know? So meaning to say, the scars on His, the 5 wounds on His body, you know, the wounds of the Lord, there is the 5 wounds, which is in the, it's called 5 holy wounds, 5 sacred wounds, or the 5 precious. You know, but I don't call it precious. Why, humans? Because I knew the Lord's suffering. There are also 5 piercing wounds that I suffered as a spirit through the crucifixions. You know? Which is, the holy ones were devoted by Gertrude of Helfta as Mechthelde, the latter reciting, it's about the prayers as well, you know. All that the Roman Catholic is doing is connected to the crucifixions, which is, I said, not all in that church are. Because I knew who is in my book, and I knew too who is. You know? I am telling you this for you to meditate the love you truly have for my God. You know? Like the holy ones, like the wounds, which is, I have those scars that I've carried in my body. The scars on my forehead is the gunshot He had. The piercing wound that He have on His rib cage is what I have. Where it becomes an apple tree or leaf of a maple on my side, the symbol of the olive oil, humans. As the archipelago is on my left thigh. You know, there's many symbols of that. The nail wounds on His arms, on his hands, because we don't call hands as hands, we call it arms. I call it anyway because I'm small. To them, I'm just their hands. You know, it's a baby. On the feet, I have that. The wounds is a scars on my feet, and also on His shoulder. You know, why our shoulder is not balanced? You know, I want you to meditate through this, to stop doing what you are doing, blaspheming. Because every time humans I get hurt, He's the one who get hurt. For I am the Spirit of truth. Do you know that there's a symbol also of that? The symbol of the cross that He was carrying to the Calvary is called Way of Sorrows. You know, inflicted the most pain on Him in Calvary. Which only those time, the pious legend only, like Saint Bernard, whom asked me, which is the greatest suffering on the wound that inflicted the most pain in the Calvary. And I said I had on my shoulder, while I bore my cross on the way of sorrows, a grievous wound, which was more painful than the others. Why, humans? Because spirit humans are very conscious into our looks. We are very conscious. You know, we like our voice to be always like in the way where it should be. You know, to us, it is, we become, it's inflicted to us when we have this, like, sorrows, because to us, this wounds is called sorrows. Why in the beginning it is called the way, the truth, and the life? Because of there's a symbol of that. There's a meaning of that. Like when I carried the cross on the Calvary, it's called way of sorrows for it to become ways of truth. This is the ways of truth, which is light. You know? Humans, I don't claim to be so-called death of the Lord. Why? Because I've atoned my own sins. You know? I've atoned my own sins as to carry the works of the hands. What is the work of the hands? The lambs of God's. The prophets. You know? I won't call apostles because they were his, they were his. Who also bore the sacred wound of them throughout incarnations, the apostles. Why? When many of the apostles was, beheaded, hanged on the cross, like Peter on an X cross. Why my garments are there in X? The white and the white and the black has X for a reason. Meaning, it is what I said, not all in that church are going to be redeemed. Women, I'm telling you all this to meditate, because many of you keep talking about God, but you have no idea what we are going through every time you speak or mention our names, God. We have been dead 3 days and 3 nights. When our names is mentioned, we grieve. We grieve. We don't get peace as dead. Why? You have no spiritual garment to speak about the Lord's. For everyone has your own lords that are looking after each abode. You only think of the Lord all the time. You forget to take the guardians that are with you daily. Friends, He knows that I am a very jealous woman. That is why you have your own guardians daily. Because I don't want anyone to keep calling my God. Why? We are sacred humans. We are sacred through by that wound. Do you notice that I mention His name? Every time I speak, I could not even, mention the whole thing. I have to, if it allows me, then I speak. If it's not, then I don't. Why? Because our names are not supposed to be spoken out loud. Yes. This one is the one bleeds when we are mentioned. So as the apostles, prophets, and saints. Who is carrying this? I am. I am the one who carrying all this as a blood of His people, while He carried me. You know why? Bridge. Straining so that the sins don't get up to them. Because this is the end times. As in the beginning, the sins are passed down to men. While the name Eve came out from Adam is because first, Adam catches me. For Adam to catches Eve. For Eve to catches the shame. The shame. I am the one who catches all the shame, humans. Because that wound is inflicted to us as a shame of the world. You are a miserable sinner that does not meditate into things that you do daily, yet you profess things that you are not. It's the anguish that he have in this world. Why he ought to perish this through the tidal waves.